You got to be able to walk away from the table when the situation doesn't suit you. Two and a half, maybe 3 years ago, I quit a job, or let them tell it, they fired me, making 70 plus thousand a year. Now, when I first got the job, I was working as a manager with someone. I forgot the company. It might come back to me later. But I was already working with them for a year and change, and I wanted out. So when I got hired at this particular restaurant, the owner who interviewed me and hired me wanted me to use my expertise in all the other chain restaurants that I've worked at to help him scale his business into franchise. At this moment in time, he had 3-4 stores, and he was opening another one fairly soon. And either I was going to be a manager, I was going to manage it, or I was just going to be the area manager for all of them. And he was going to have someone else and manage it while I bounced around. It was still up in the air because I had just started. This particular job was, I wouldn't say it was hard. It wasn't hard. The thing that I didn't like about it was the micromanagement. Let me explain. So when I first started, I was going through training. I was hired as a manager, but to everybody else, I was just a regular employee, just to go through the basics and to just, learn everything, because that's what we discussed. And first thing I requested was to not come in and be announced as a manager. I want to come in and be announced as a regular employee. This is such and such. He's going to be working with us, train him in the way that he should go. So when he gets older, he shall not depart. Now, when training was going on, I was secretly assessing the team and the management. So basically, we were supposed to be doing this in all of the locations. I come in as a brand new employee. It's my first day or it's my first week. I'm just learning, train me, and secretly I'm really evaluating everybody's training ethic, everybody's work ethic, everybody's basically evaluating everybody's ethic, for lack of better terms. I know I said ethic 3 times, but fuck it. But just to see if everybody who's working there was conducive to scaling the business. Long story short, there was not. One of the main first things that I came to realize was the owner was a micromanager, and not kind of on purpose, but also, let's be real, micromanaging only means that you do not trust the people that you hired, or the people that's working. You don't trust them to have those standards that, a person usually would have if, they were trained properly. And that in itself is the problem. The fact that, you feel like you gotta macromanage people, that within itself should let you know one or two things. Either you're a bad trainer, or the person's just incompetent on that level. They just don't get it. And either way, both of those shits gotta go. Because as an owner who's trying to scale a business, trying to have meeting with investors and this, that, and the third, you ain't got no motherfucking time. You ain't got no time to be micromanaging people and wasting time telling everybody, having everybody come to you for little stupid bullshit. This guy would have his managers take pictures of the line in the morning, and so he could evaluate, and the owner would have his managers take the picture of the line in the morning, send it to him through Slack, and then he would evaluate whether or not that item was good enough to be on the line. There's so many issues with just that one action. Let me list them. Issue number 1. Your team can't tell whether something is, well, your manager, because if your manager is opening the line, the manager, the person that you hired to do a job in place of you, because you're not going to be there, should have been trained to know whether or not an item belongs on the line or not because of from their appearance alone. Because if you can do it, you can train someone else to do it. But he would rather do it himself because he does not trust the people that he hired to do the job that he needs them to do, which is a waste of your fucking time. Second thing he used to do to micromanage. At the end of the night, before you pack up everything and put it in the fridge, the things that, are the non-perishables, he would ask them to take a picture of the line again. To be like, all right, throw this out, throw that out. You're going to have to make fresh ones in the morning. Why are your managers not trained up in that way? Therefore, their employees are trained up in that way. But then when I mentioned this to him, he looked at me like I was crazy. He gave me excuses like, well, I don't want to be hands off and with it. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? This is your baby. You've been doing this forever. You started it off. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want nobody to fuck it up. I get it. But you know what that's doing? Not only are you adding more stress to yourself and more, cause you hired a manager to relieve you, so they can handle that when you was not around, to make sure that the standards met when you're not around. So how come he does not know your standards? So he could uphold them and hold himself and other people accountable, after training them, of course, to those standards. So I mention it, and he says to me, well, I like to do things, I don't like being hands up. I still like getting my hands dirty, let everybody know that I still got it. And it's my company, it's the food. I enjoy making it, I enjoy cooking, and it's what I love to do. I get it. I like cooking too, nigga. I like to eat. I'm sure all of us likes to eat. I'm in the restaurant business because I like food. When I was a little kid, I kind of wanted to be a chef. I used to watch all them cooking shows on Channel 13. Lydia's Cooking Corner, Jacques Pepin. I used to watch all them shits on Channel 13. Test Kitchen, all that stuff. It was kind of my favorite thing, especially on Sundays. After church, I would just go home, Channel 13, straight cooking shows, man. That's what I used to do. As a little kid, he was like, what do you want to be? I want to be a chef. I was fat as fuck, so yeah. It was like, of course you do. You like food. But micromanaging never solved anything. If you're going to micromanage, just do that shit yourself. And pretty much he was. You literally was doing it yourself, just having somebody else's hands do the actions that you told them to do. And then when I approached the manager who was taking the pictures and sending it to the owner, I asked him, yo, you don't feel some type of way that this guy doesn't pretty much trust you enough to make that decision on your own? The manager just looked at me and shrugged. No passion, bruh. Because I've been there. And I felt some type of way. Because if I'm putting in work and I'm supposed to be responsible and I'm going to be held accountable, then let me be empowered to make that decision. You see what I'm saying? But again, he was hiring people that were complacent, but they wasn't adding nothing. You see what I'm saying? They did everything that they was told, but they had zero ideas on their own. So I'm seeing all this happening, and I'm not really saying anything. I'm doing my evaluation because again, this is my first week training here, and I'm also working another job. So I'm doing 50 hours here, 50 hours somewhere else. And the manager has zero accountability, man. Like, he's afraid to talk to the team and correct them for anything that's been going on. Why? Because the team has been working there longer than he has. Understood. It's difficult. I get it. I do. It's difficult when, if the team has been working there for a year and you've only been around for 3 months. But you know what? That's something that should have been addressed within the first 30 days of you working there. That's something that could have been mitigated. And honestly, you should have been over that hump the first 30 days that you was there. You should already had earned their respect to the point where if you ain't about to listen to me, fine. You can also find another job because I don't need you. Because not only was he being disrespected in front of me, and they was disrespecting him in front of his face. So imagine how it was behind his back. This is the manager of the restaurant, not the owner. That shit don't make no sense to me whatsoever. And the team day was pretty cool where I was training, but there was this one girl who worked the line, and she told me on my first day, like, yo, if you need to learn anything, you can learn it from them in the kitchen, but anything on the line, you could come to me and I'll let you know, because honestly, nobody else knows the line the way I know the line, and I have to do everything. And I was like, what you mean you gotta do everything? He was like, well, nobody wants to do anything. Nobody, and the manager is not gonna tell nobody to do nothing. So it's all, he only comes to me. I mean, I come to find out they have a outside relationship. So, which is why he feels more comfortable coming to her to do everything in a while. So she feels like she could do whatever she wants. But I digress. That's none of my business. I don't give a fuck about that. That does create a problem, though. Not the relationship part, the part where she feels like she could do whatever the fuck she wants. She kind of untouchable because of the skill set that she possesses, because nobody else could do what she can. And I'm like, see, that's how training eliminates all of that, because everybody's on the same level. Cross-training eliminates all of that. But yet no cross-training was going on. It was everybody had one job to do when they came in that day, and that's all you did. You're not learning nothing else. That's a problem. But that's a different situation. So I give my evaluation, and he makes excuses for the manager. He's like, yeah, well, I told him, look, at the end of that week, here's a list of all the problems that I see in the store down to employees, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying fire them. I say give everybody an opportunity to make themselves better, because if they knew better, they would do better. So let's teach them better. That's what I always want to do. I always give people an opportunity to do better, because if it was me, I would want an opportunity to do better and be better. So, because I didn't know I could be doing better. I didn't know I should be doing something different. So now that I know, I'll go ahead and apply that knowledge and we can move forward. But I never suggested to fire anybody. I just said, we just need to do certain things better. He said, cool, no problem. I'll take that into account. Now we're going to bounce you on to another store. I go to the other store. The manager there, he's like, yeah, he was singing her praises. He was like, yeah, I think you're really going to like her. She came from employee straight up to manager, kind of like you. Except, she kind of got pushed up there like that because we really didn't have people. And, obviously that store has a call out problem because people stay calling out, blah, blah, blah. I said, cool, no problem. I'll go over there and help. So I'll go over there and help, and I realize that people have a call out problem. The manager who came from employee to manager was not a manager. She had the title, but the entire time she was there, she was just taking personal calls, talking to her realtor about buying a house, talking to her brother about shit. And then when it came down to the food, she was cutting corners because she was behind on time. So that means everything, the flavor was off, the look was off, everything was either burnt or undercooked. So she sees me working and she's like, you gotta do this fast, and I told her, look, this is the way the recipe says, this is the way I'm gonna do it. So she calls the owner, bitches about me because I'm not moving fast enough and I'm not doing exactly what she's telling me to do. Because again, I am not an employee. I am a manager. I'm above her. But she doesn't know that. But I'm not rubbing that in her face either. I just have passion for food. So the way that she was just get the shit done, that killed me a little bit inside. Respect the food and the food is gonna respect you. So she complained to the owner and that they needed somebody else. So he came himself. And so we started doing it, and we was doing it the exact same way. Crazy, huh? And so we started chopping it up, and he's telling me, yeah, you know, she's pretty great, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, she's not great. She's reliable. She shows up. But look at this stuff. You got shit burning. It's a mess back here. Where's this water coming from? It's standing water. You got flies. She's bitching at me that I'm moving too slow. When she's over here cutting corners and leaving shit out the recipes because it takes too long. You know what I'm saying? Not blending things to the proper consistency, not grinding things down to the proper coarseness that it needed to be. So then that changes the flavor, that changes everything of the food. And what my goal, what I was hired to do, was to make everything consistent, to create an SOP, standard of procedure, that every single location would follow. So every single location would be uniform. So it would be like a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Chipotle, a Qdoba, you name it. Because you go these places, the food tastes the same. Why is that? Well, I worked at Chipotle. I can tell you why. Another story. Another day. But the main reason why is because every single location does things the same. The quantities could be different, but the amounts of the ingredients are the same. The consistency of the ingredients is the same. I don't know about now. It's been... Damn, how long has it been since I worked at Chipotle, bruh? It's been a minute. But when I worked there, standards were stupid high, and consistency was key to everything. If you was not consistent, and if you know me personally, if you recognize the voice, you know I was not playing. I'm not one of them niggas. But I ended up leaving. I ended up quitting. I ended up just not dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Ended up being a day where, again, I was working 2 jobs. They knew this. They knew that I was working someplace I was working for them in the morning, from like 7 to from 6, actually, not even 7, from 6 to 6 to 3. And then I was working someplace else from 4 to 12, closing shift. So it was late. I agreed to work for them for, extended amount of time. And I had no problem with that. I agreed with it, so I had no problem with it. The reason why I quit was because they didn't value my time. I didn't want to be micromanaged, and I'm not about to let someone feel like because they give me money, you now own my time. Let's not sell your soul for a couple dollars. All right? I read somewhere, your salary is the bribe they give you to forget about your dreams. That job at the end of the day will make you a living. It will not make you rich. Again, that job at the end of the day will only make you a living. It will not make you rich. Here I am busting my ass at 2 jobs, right? Trying to leave one to go to another one. I don't give a fuck if they was giving me $100,000 a year. My well-being is paramount. These companies are not going to be looking out for your best interest, so you got to be looking out for your best interest. Look out for yourself and cover your ass. Because at the end of the day, they'll replace you at the drop of a hat, and then you're going to be out there stuck. But I did not allow these motherfuckers to be able to run me at all. It's a partnership. Yeah, you're paying me, but you're paying me for what you hired me to do. And I think it was Steve Jobs that said, it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. You hired me so I can tell you what to do. And it's not from a I'm your boss standpoint. It's this is where you fucking up at, and this is where we could be doing better. This is why we need to be doing better, and this is how we could be doing better. Instead of everybody feeling like, well, goddamn, this is a lot. If everybody was pulling their own weight and not, oh, this is my job, that's not my job. No, there was no sense of teamwork, bruh. Let's keep it 100. Everybody come in, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to do that because, that person didn't come in yet. So I'm going to have to wait. Really, though? Was nobody cross-trained to do something else? Oh, you're supposed to be here and You're the dining room person, so that means you take out the trash, you make sure the tables are clean, and the chairs are pushed in for the next person that's coming up who wants to dine in. Yeah, but you don't know how to do nothing else. If somebody would have called out on the line, you can't work the line. If a cook got sick, you can't cook nothing. You was never taught how to do that. But the reason why I quit was because my time was more valuable. I'm more valuable. What you needed was my expertise. What you needed was my expertise. But instead you just used me as another body. I wasn't with that. I understand people call out and you need people to fill in. But if I'm communicating with you that, yo, I just worked 100-hour week, and I especially worked for you 50 of those hours. You know what I'm saying? And there was really, really bad communication, because a lot of the information that I would receive wouldn't even be from the owner or from his right-hand man, who was the area manager at the time. I would hear things from other employees here and there, because the employees had an inside track to the owner, because a lot of them were snitches. A lot of them would, you know, oh, you know what this person did today? You know what that person did today? I saw this person do this and I saw that person do that, to the owner. So as I got cool with the team, they'll fill me in. Yo, that person's a snitch. This person's this, that person's that. That's how I found out about the relationship between the line chick and the manager. You have to, as an individual, value yourself way more, because they're not going to value you. So I'll add the call minus names, well, the recording, because it's completely legal to record as long as one party knows it's being recorded, and I knew. I recorded the conversation. I want y'all to hear the reason why they quote unquote let me go, even though when I spoke with them on the phone, I let them know way ahead of time that that I quit, basically, because I worked the weekend. No, I didn't work the weekend. I was supposed to work that weekend, but nobody confirmed with me whether or not I was going to be working that weekend. So then when I got confirmation, which was on the weekend, that I was going to be working next weekend, I said, no problem. So if I'm working the weekend, that must, because I didn't have a schedule, and that's another problem. But because I was supposed to work that weekend and I didn't work that weekend, I was going to work next weekend. And because of that, you know, of course, that would mean, you know, I work 5 days, I get 2 days off, right? Unless I agreed prior to working 7 days. Because by New York State law, I'm supposed to have 2 days off. And they're supposed to be either back to back or a certain amount of hours. I don't remember it anymore because God has blessed me, but it's problematic. So I stood up for myself. I don't give a fuck how much you're paying me. You give me $1 million, I don't want your money, because then you give me your money and then you're gonna feel like I owe you something now, which understandably makes sense. But at the very same time, I ain't chattel. You don't own me, bro. So listen to my quote unquote firing, even though I had quit way before I even got there, because we had a conversation Monday morning of that week about how I communicated with his right-hand man about what was going down that week, or lack thereof.
I saw your text, when I called you this yesterday, right? You told me that you discussed with him and you guys agreed that you would take off yesterday. This is what you told me on the phone. So listen, I know what I tell people, I know what I hear people. I'm the kind of person that actually listens very carefully. Okay, then I said, okay, we're going to talk to us, huh? We're going to look at your text. There's nothing in your text that says you're going to take off Monday. Understood?
Have you ever...
And now I want him to tell each other, did you give me Monday off?
We never discussed it. You didn't even talk on the phone, right?
So, I was a little shocked and I was a little disappointed. Whatever, right? I said, let me just give a last chance to see if he's going to come in and maybe redeem himself by showing up to work on his first day. But you didn't want to do that either. So I'm not sure what's going on with you, but I cannot work with you. Not like this. You understand? Thanks. What was the reason, by the way?
I could pick up my check on Wednesday.
Yeah, you can pick up your check. You don't want to tell me the reason? Because
I'm a straight shooter. This is what it is.
Business you don't like.
You read the text. I let you finish talking. I'm gonna finish talking now. Okay. In the text message that I sent him, right? You want to reply 9 hours later? That's your business. I also have a life that doesn't have nothing to do with. Okay. So, I'm speaking. So, if I'm busy and I reply, you're busy. You reply when you reply. If I say, hey, I hit you up Wednesday because I heard through the grapevine, not from you, that you want me to work the weekend. Right? Mm-hmm. I hit you up saying, hey, I heard you want me to work the weekend. Time, date, let me know. We'll talk about that later. Later comes tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, tomorrow goes. This was in the text messages. Now, you don't message me until what, 8:15 later that day?
Okay.
If I don't reply, I'm busy.
We understand that.
I'm speaking.
Yeah, but you just
we already established what we established. Let me finish speaking. I didn't cut nobody off. Let me finish speaking. Now, I said, okay, we didn't do the Saturday thing. I'm burnt out. Remember, I'm working 100 hours that week. Not for you. Half of it was for you, half of it was for them. I'm not going to come in on... I'm sorry, what'd you say? I know myself. It's not conducive for nobody in the business. All right? Now, if I said, all right, we do a full weekend the following weekend, does that not mean Saturday and Sunday? So you expecting me to work 7-day weeks. I'm going to take at least 1 day. I'm not a slave.
Of course. Understood.
So if I'm saying these things and you're not replying, that's you. You got the message. I said full weekend and I know what I said. So if I already said twice, I can't come in today. I was in the middle of doing something. I can't come in today.
You're still speaking about Saturday?
No, I'm talking about Monday. I can't come in that day. I can't come in today.
You decided on your own that you
I did. Because you know what? I got shit. Yes, I can.
How?
What do you mean?
This
Listen,
is your first day.
y'all motherfuckers need to get y'all shit together.
It's your first day of work.
First day. I didn't even sign
No,
paperwork.
man. No, your first day of real work.
You should have checked on Wednesday. All this bullshit. I need to get y'all shit together.